Good evening and welcome to the January 10th, 2023 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Clerk will please call the roll.
Do you ever change it up?
Mr. Dreese?
Present.
Okay.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mrs. Russell?
Here.
Mayor Cole?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Presentations. There are no presentations scheduled for this evening. Reports from volunteers. At this time, are there any comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? Seeing none, we'll move on to public comment. The next item on the agenda is public comment. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period of public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized. Come to the microphone, provide your name and address for the record. No? All right. Next on the agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Three things are listed within my report. The first is with respect to 2023 municipal towing licenses. As previously discussed, when the new ordinance was put in place, it was the intention to have the item scheduled for the council's consideration at the reorganization meeting. However, there are things that are still requiring attention and review. So as noted in writing, the applications are continuing to be reviewed by the township clerk, attorney, and I, and we anticipate legislative action will be scheduled for the 24th. Next item, budget schedule. As in past years, I've identified a schedule consistent with how we've operated before and found success. I would like to point out that the meeting on the 18th is the Saturday of President's Day weekend. I have no objection to that, but I want to make sure the council is aware that that is the case. If there's any questions, comments, or issues, let me know. We can work around whatever the council's desire is.
I am going to be able
Otherwise, we'll proceed as we have in past years.
I may not be here, but
away
I
on
don't
the
know.
18th.
Okay, wait, you tell him.
Hold on. Mr. Brewer,
Yes.
I will be away on the 18th.
Okay.
Do we have an alternative date?
If we moved it to the 11th, would that be too soon?
It may be, just because we have to marry the AFS, the financial statements from the prior year to project the revenue, so that week we may need.
21? When's the next day? 28?
That's a
25th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. I can do 25. Is that too late? Well, that's... Yeah, I could do the 25th if that works for you guys.
It's a couple of days before the next meeting, but we can make that work.
What about the 17th? It's a half day.
I am not here the 15th
For us,
through the
not sure,
19th.
yeah.
Right, no, that's why I was asking. Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
Either works for me. I can do the 25th or...
Whatever the council's pleasure, I'm happy
I
to.
think the 25th will be better.
25th?
25th?
25th it is. Melissa, you good?
Yep.
I'm good too. 25th.
Thank you.
I will make the corresponding change in the initial distribution memo, which you'll get in a couple of weeks.
We'll have that much longer to red letter it.
There you go. Well, initial distribution lacks the revenue figures, so that's the challenge there. And then the last item is consistent with the discussion and the direction provided at December 13th. There is an ordinance for the council's consideration to increase the water rates as required because of the necessary treatment for PFAS. I would like to call out a typo in paragraph 2 of item C in my memo. It should say, as noted in prior reports, and in the water rate study in January of 2021, the new maximum contaminant levels were established, not 2022. So I apologize. That is also in the water rate study, but I'll correct it moving forward.
You like that word PFAS, don't you?
No, I don't.
No.
No, it's a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
And it is. Unless there's any questions or comments, that concludes my reports. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions or comments for Mr. Brewer?
No, sir.
There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening, so we're moving along. Next on the agenda is introduction of ordinances. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance number 2023-01 is an ordinance to amend Chapter 182 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock, Section 18202, entitled Water Charges.
All right. Mr. Brewer, any comments?
There was a comprehensive presentation made on December 13th. If there's questions, I'd be happy to explain. The bottom line is this ordinance increases the rates to pay the debt service associated with the required project to install a filtration system to mitigate the presence of PFAS in the township's water supply. The state dropped the level. We need to do this to be in compliance with the required level, and this will support the operations to meet that requirement.
Well, not only did the state drop the level, this is a relatively new chemical that we're testing for now, correct?
Correct. The initiation was required as of that 2021 date. That was when the state required the testing for it. It dropped the maximum contaminant level. Prior to that, it was not regulated. I'm far from a scientist or a medical professional. I can't opine whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but we will be in compliance, and this will assist in getting this.
All right.
We don't have a choice.
No.
Right. In essence, we don't have a choice.
We have no choice.
And it's a $4.75 million filtration system.
Correct.
Any other comments from council?
Nope, need to do it.
Is there a motion to introduce the ordinance on its first reading?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number 2023-01.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is resolutions. Ms. Marsh?
Beginning with Resolution R 2023-53, authorizing a professional services agreement between the Township of Pequannock and DMC Associates Incorporated. 2023-54, confirming the designated memberships in the Pequannock Township Fire Department. 2023-55, authorizing a grant agreement with the State of New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for the 2022 New Jersey Urban and Community Forest Grant for reforestation and tree planting. 56, authorizing submission of a state fiscal year 23 local recreation improvement grant application and execution of the grant agreement for the Greenview Park Pond Lining Project. 2023-57, authorizing release of permit bonds, and R 2023-58, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the January 5th, 2023 bill list and 2018 FEMA elevation escrow list.
Any comments from council?
No, just love it when we can get grants, so it's great.
And we're paying 2018 FEMA.
Yeah, right?
Just a question on 55, for that tree grant thing, now, that's going through DPW?
It's the Shade Tree Commission applied for and secured the grant.
Right.
There's staff from DPW who's on the Shade Tree Commission, and DPW leadership will be managing the grant.
Okay, so it's going to plant trees through the DPW?
Through the DPW, up to $50,000 to plant trees, consistent with plans and other things that were submitted.
Okay.
More stuff in our town with other people's money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that.
Love it.
No, I'm just glad that the gentleman that works on the DPW stepped forward and
Yeah.
put that thing together.
He's good like that.
That's not his area of expertise, but he really jumped in and did that and got us a lot of money. So
Yes.
thank you.
Kudos are due to Mr. Hart.
Yep.
Any other comments?
No, sir.
Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions R 2023-53 through R 2023-58.
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Cole?
Yes. Items for discussion. There are no items for discussion this evening, and there are no reports or notices. Next on the agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilman Dreese.
Thank you, Mayor. Parks and Rec had their first meeting last night. Chairman is Rudy, as usual. Mr. Rudy heads up that committee very well, I believe. And the vice chair is Nicole Caravella, which is
All right.
which is good for her. So I'm excited to see her jump in and help out with that. They spoke about a couple things. One thing is the Parks and Rec Department is looking for lifeguards for PV Park this year. It's got to be 16 years or older. So if you are interested, please call Parks and Rec. And also, one of the newer members asked, what should we be doing? So I'm going to ask Mr. Brewer to see if they have a list of what they should be doing. So
It's on the township website.
It's kind of, sort of, but I don't know if anything else is there because it's a little maybe a little bit vague. But so let's maybe talk about that, and I think that's a good idea for all the committees because I know we talked about it at DDC a number of times, etc. So I think we should just have clear direction on what our volunteers are doing, so there's no miscommunication, and because we don't want to waste their time, etc. So that was it for that. Historic Commission did meet, but I was not able to go. That was the week before. But I will get the minutes and report on that next time. I'd like to say congratulations to the junior firefighter that just got appointed to Company 1. That's great. Thank you for your service. I'd like to thank all the people that stepped up and are volunteering on all of our committees in town. It's nice when residents come out and try to make their town the best. So thank you to that. I'd like to thank Melissa for running the mayorship last year. Thank you very much, and good luck to Dave. We're praying for you. Do a good job.
Thank you.
We're expecting it.
Or else. Or else Will McCarthy.
Yeah. So, but that's about it. Last time I didn't thank the DPW for keeping all the leaves off our street throughout the fall. I think we got to talk to landscapers about not putting stuff in the middle of the road. Along the curb would be nice, but if I'm driving down the middle of the road and I got to drive through piles of leaves, it's not safe for anybody. So
I'll tell you how fast DPW was. Is one day I came out in Mountain Ave, they had done that. They got these big backs, and it came in. It was like covering. I went to go visit my daughter who lives on the other side of Mountain Ave. Was there for maybe 15 minutes. By the time I was back, DPW found out about it, sucked all those leaves up. I was like, wow, they are good.
No, they really stepped up, and I didn't mention it last time, so I wanted to mention it this time. So, Mayor, that's it.
Thank you, Councilman Dreese. Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Okay, I don't have too much, but John brings up a good point about the committees. I think to get off to the right start of the year, we need each committee to really understand their roles, the mission statements, which I know each group has, but if they need to be revamped or we want to give more direction, maybe we can put something together, Adam,
I appreciate the questioning my way, and I'm happy to have some conversations. The challenge is the committees are advisory committees to the governing body.
Right.
So, I would...
So we should put something together?
We should probably foster some kind of a discussion to determine what the governing body would like to see.
They will have a mission statement. They basically are there to advise us plans or what they think would be a good idea. Then, their liaison will come back and either, we say, yeah, it's a good idea, or no, it's not.
I get that, but the point is there's people that are on the committee for a long time, and a new guy asks it, and everybody's sitting here, well, the mission statement's on here. It's like, but what does that mean?
Right.
What does that mean?
So maybe we can...
A plain language understanding of what there should be happening on a regular basis.
Right, and we talked in the past, I think Kyle had brought it up, about having them come in front of the council for a short presentation, nothing long.
Once a quarter, maybe.
Maybe once a quarter, or at least twice a year, if nothing else, if they have, something. So we'll try to stress that in our committees. I have 3 this year. The Senior Citizen Advisory Committee, some of them are the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee normally meets the first Tuesday of the month, right after the DISC meeting, and they're kind of going through a revamp. So we're going to actually move the Senior Citizen Advisory Committee time. So I'm just waiting for that. They might not meet until February now, since they missed the first week, but I'll send an email out so everybody knows when we are meeting. So we don't have that set yet. I'll let you know on that. Economic Development, they meet the fourth Wednesday of every month, so they'll be meeting on the 25th at 7 p.m. here in this room, and they'll go through their reorg at that first meeting. The Flood Advisory Committee, they are meeting 7 o'clock this Thursday, I believe. And they have to do their reorg. So none of my committees met yet, but I'll come back after the next meeting and give you an update and talk to them about maybe doing a summary of where they are and then where they plan to go for this year. All right? That's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman Florence Lynch. Councilman Hurd.
Thank you, Mayor. Open Space met last night. Frank is doing well. You know, our prayers are still with him. It's still a fight, but he's still kicking, so keep going there, Frank. The slate of officials stay the same, so Joseph Well is the chair, Frank Spizieri is the vice chair. What else? We went over the rail trail. We were talking about that. I did stop by on the Wayne side, the trestle, the train trestle, and they actually they're working on that. They have it sandblasted, they have it primed, which is very exciting. I did bring up a concern of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but if an adult stands on the bridge, the two sides are higher. I can't even see the river. So my question was, does anybody know if they're going to be elevating the crossing going over that bridge like 2 feet, or are you kind of walking between these two big walls? That was a question. I have to take a look at the big sheets.
Yeah, I'll get you the plans. I was going to do that. Jay's got them. Yeah, I believe they're building it up so you can look over.
I'd presume that, but I didn't realize it until I was standing in front of the bridge with my son checking it out. Other than that, let's see, First Aid Squad also met last night. Their December calls was 103, 33 were to Cedar Crest. Total calls for last year was 1,003 calls. Total hours are over 19,000 hours. And just to put it in context, Pequannock First Aid Squad is all volunteers.
Yeah, they do amazing.
So that's a lot of hours. That's a lot of time. I want to thank them. I thank all of our first responders. I keep on saying it, but you know, our job here is to pay the bills, but their job is to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and get somebody out of a car or jump into a house that's burning or, God forbid, anything else. So I do appreciate everything that our first responders do and keep up the good work. Their First Aid Squad's going to have a casino night in May. We don't know the date yet. We're waiting for Sister to come back and figure out what date.
It's right up our alley.
It sure is. It's going to be great in May. May's not dry, right? Okay. Only one ask is there's a lot of cars being parked by the First Aid Squad where the duty crew comes in. So, you know, when there's a call, there's a bunch of cars there. I don't know if they're getting staged for gov deals or whatnot, but
Back here?
yeah, back on the side here
You
from
think
like
it's
the
from the
trailer.
townhomes?
I'll take a look.
No, I think I looked really quick, but I really didn't pay attention. But like, it looks like the stuff we're trying to get rid of, like the old police cars and whatever. So just 2 cents. That's there. Guys need the parking spots. I keep on parking over here because I have no place to park down there for the meetings. And Happy New Year. Congratulations again. Thank you, Melissa. Congratulations, Dave. We're in good hands. That's all I have.
Thank
Mayor.
you, Councilman Hurd. Councilwoman Russell.
You heard from the
You
herd.
wanted him to go again? We had our planning board reorg last night. No business was discussed. The next planning board meeting is the 7th of February, I think. Yeah. Library is meeting on the 18th, and we have the strategic planning company that they hired come in and discuss the new strategic plan, so that's exciting, seeing what good things are going to be done.
Do they have a link online for the library so I can get in? Because I want
In
to...
person this time.
In person?
Yeah.
What day was it again?
It's the 18th,
18th. What time?
7:30.
At library. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the 6th, Kyle, for the next planning board.
Next planning board is the 6th. I went to Cedar Crest today and spoke with them, with our Assemblyman Brian Bergen. They were very happy. I told them about PV Park and all the great things we have here, and they were very excited. There were some new people there, so they were excited to maybe come see it and join. And our environmental meeting is this week, actually tomorrow, but they had sent their 2022 accomplishments, which it's long. I won't read the whole thing. I will send it all to members of the council, but I just want to read some of the stuff they do. They really do a lot of stuff. They alert the council with pending legislative actions. They worked with a lot of stuff on improvements for Foothills Park. They installed a bench, shored up areas where erosion had exposed root balls of trees. They painted a water level gauge on the concrete. They enclosed 2 small areas with landscape. They helped plant approximately 118 pollinator plants. On the 26th, Tom Newman made a brief presentation here. They review the permit applications and letters of interpretation. They do their blue line inspections, beginning with a council request from 2008. They go and they check the blue line, which is the various lines going up and down with the water lines, and they checking, making sure that the water flows correctly. They updated their webpage. They do response and outreach. They do a recycling program. They did a styrofoam collection drive last year and again this year. In April, they had a mini BioBlitz. They did a presentation to the library. They helped with the river cleanup. They did a presentation to Suburban's Women's Club. They did the rainbow workshop and a lot of other things, but I'll forward this over. They really do a lot. It's a great group. If anybody ever has a chance to come out to the commission meeting, that would be great. And that's it. Thank you, Melissa, for a great year. Best of luck, Mayor Cole and Deputy Hurd.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Councilwoman Russell.
I look forward to a great year.
Great. All right, there's a whole bunch of things here, real quick. Brian, I'm surprised you didn't announce the band pancake breakfast. Coming up on
Sucker.
January 21st, 9 o'clock, I believe it starts at the high school. Also, fire department installation is the 21st of January, 6 o'clock start at the castle for everyone that responded. If you haven't responded, please do respond.
I did.
I did too. I don't have enough.
Some sad news, Dave Way, former mayor, passed away today. I believe Dave was 100. I don't know if he made 101, but Melissa and I were there last at Cedar Crest in 2022 for his 100th birthday celebration. So Adam is going to ask the DPW to put up the bunting again for 30 days around the town hall door here. Company 1 moved their meeting to this Friday. Company 2 meeting is this Thursday. Planning board did meet late last night, as Councilwoman Russell said. The chairman is Angela Caputo, the vice chair is Roger Infeld, and the secretary is Gerard Finnemont. As John mentioned, thank you and congratulations to the junior firefighter that was just assigned to Company 1. And I also wanted to thank everyone, and I should have thanked everyone at the reorg meeting, but I was a little nervous speaking and everything, but we are a great group, between, Mr. Oostdijk, Mr. Brewer, Ms. Marsh, and all of us. I mean, we do a great job, and looking forward to working with all of you this year, and, hopefully, keep up all the good work that we do. So, the Riverwalk cleanup, I let Rudy know that is also the day of the Little League Parade and opening ceremonies.
Oh, it is?
So I don't know if that's going to be changing, the Riverwalk cleanup date, but...
He didn't run it by you before you chose it?
No. But he did respond. He says, I don't think I checked with Little League last year on the date, so...
Yeah. What's the date of that? Little League?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
The same date as the river cleanup?
What's the date of the Riverwalk?
April 15th is the Riverwalk and the opening day Little League Parade.
Thank you.
So we will all be, I imagine, at the Little League Parade, so I'm hoping that they can change the Riverwalk cleanup. And that's all I have. But again, I look forward to working with all of you, and it's an honor and a pleasure to serve as mayor again for 2023.
The following weekend is Earth Day, so...
Yeah, great. All right, next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized, come to the microphone, provide your name and address for the record. Mr. Morley, come on down.
Wow, it's been a while, Bob. Where you been?
Well, I don't want to take anybody's time here, but yeah. Bob Morley, 4 Jacksonville Road, Compton Plains. Just actually a number of small things, but as some of you may or may not know, I run the We Are Pequannock site. When in November, when 2 of our mainstay businesses in town left us, sadly, I posted half cheaply, but about what do we need in town, and put up like a bank and this and that. Surprisingly, nobody voted for a bank.
Thank God.
What they did put up, however, which I thought was good, is cafes, someplace for the teenagers to deal with things. Several very good ideas. I urge you to check them out. I would like to know what you guys can or will or even have thought about doing to attract some kind of things in town along the way lines of what these people are asking for, because I thought they had very good ideas. Mr. Hurd, who and I have had several disagreements with, a long time ago mentioned something that I thought was very bright, which was to build out from the trails, from the new trail. Okay. Our former township engineer told me that in his town, he was able to secure several grants along their railroad trail to develop it. I have no idea if we've done anything like that, but he said he did it, and, unfortunately he's now retired, but he said he had no problems getting it through the state, and I don't know, have we done anything like that?
Well, I'll answer the question if you don't mind, Mayor. We had a couple of conversations with Adam. I had asked Adam about different things on the trail, opening up specifically for the north end, and also about is there anything that we can do, like a athletic thing? Because on some of the trails you see that they have where you would stop and you would do, push-ups, pull-ups, whatever. And Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, basically it's we need to get the trail done first, or the county needs to get the trail done first, and then from that standpoint, there's possibly appetite for adding on exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and building out from that to build, because it's fine that you guys run in town and get the garbage collected, et cetera, but I honestly, we lost 2 businesses. I mean, we are a town now with very few businesses except banks. Banks are wonderful, but we don't need 12 of them.
Sure.
Bob, just so you know, starting with, actually, Mr. DeRisi over there, I believe 10 years ago, we actually started this on economic development. It was to see what we can do to attract more businesses to our town with the intent of having a more walkable downtown. So that has been the drive from 10 plus years ago. And the question is, okay, so what does that mean? That comes down to economic development back in the day. What we identified was how can we make it easier for businesses to pull permits. So down at the construction department, there is now pre-made packages. So if you want to rent a space in town, it goes over everything from what's required in the space, what permits have to be pulled, as well as the infamous, how do you change the name on the outside, because that's always been an issue. The other thing that we were doing with the help of Mr. Brewer, which just got accomplished, well, I want to say 2 years ago, is we went through all of the laws and cleaned things up and made them more logical. The third thing that we did, again with Mr. Brewer, is last year, I believe it was finished, but basically a town-wide reassessment of what is developable, what is open space, what is a business district. Things like certain areas can now have 3 floors. And these are the things that are important because, for example, if a business owner wants to update their 4 or 5 units, let's say, they need to have the incentives because it's so expensive now. So if we want a more walkable downtown and a better looking downtown, the ability that they can then renovate it and possibly do mixed use, do a 3rd floor residential renting, that is awesome. Adam, would you like to clarify anything? Just making sure I didn't mess it up.
That was the master plan.
Master plan, yes.
Well, what have we done to reach out to people to actually do this?
That's a great question. So
Well,
between
that's why I asked it.
EDC. So between the council and economic development, we set the stage to be very business friendly. From that standpoint, it's now Chamber of Commerce to really start, what do I want to say, waving the wand and beating the drum to show all the businesses, hey, Pequannock is a great town. I was talking to the new chair of the Chamber of Commerce. They have some great ideas, like I want to call it welcome baskets, but it's not really that. But really get in as early as possible and attract. Again, this is one of the reasons why we have the 2 new pads over by the shopping center on the other side of 23. And that's just the beginning. So what I have learned, and which is a little annoying, government takes forever. I mean, literally what we're talking about, John, we had these conversations in EDC. What are we here for? You know, and that was 10 years ago, and only now are we seeing, finally, the fruits of this.
But we also have to have the people wanting to come in and do
Yeah.
these businesses. You know, Little Food is still open. I'm sure that's for rent.
And there's been a couple of people that have already reached out for that Little Food.
Yeah, but what's going to go in there? Another bank?
No, we have
I know
plenty
there's
of banks.
some-
We have-
I know, because I know the music
We don't-
center's
we don't-
taken over by
we don't-
another financial
We don't own the
institution.
property. We can't tell
And
them
Ryan-
what they can do with their
Right,
property.
and Ryan.
I understand you can't tell them what they can do, but you can make decisions and laws and that make it friendlier for
that's what
We've
we
been working on that,
We
yeah.
did. It's very,
No, what have you done to make them friendlier for X business versus Y business?
what was
Well,
that?
I can't pick winners and losers, no.
No, but you can zone things, you can zone things for.
Yeah, that's the master
you can
plan.
define
That's literally-
commercial,
That's what we
you
did.
can
That's
define-
literally what we did.
That's
You
what
can
we did
define
with
what's
everything.
commercial, you have the power to define
did
those
that.
things.
We did that, and Bob,
Overlay
just-
redevelopment area?
Just to
Yeah.
clarify, Ryan did a good job summarizing things now. Just so you know, there have been developers and other people that have reached out. I know Adam has had conversations with people. Some people have reached out to us. You need really like one big project to come in,
Yeah.
and then you'll see it start to
Yeah,
come. So
well,
those conversations are being had.
I do understand, but you, not all of you, but this council, some of this council spent a lot of last year worrying about crap that had literally nothing to do with running this town. Okay? And it made this town.
Hey, Bob,
this town is
we can
not
do
that
more than one
friendly.
thing there, sir.
What's that?
We can do more than one thing, but I
Well,
gotta say,
why don't we worry about the
all
thing
of
that's
the
more
work.
important to the town?
and that's exactly what we've been doing. And that's why, I just told you exactly what we did over 10 years. This is a heavy lift. None of these things are small
I
things.
compliment you. I thought your idea was
I
great.
appreciate that, yeah.
I thought it was a brilliant idea, and then it just died.
Oh, it didn't die.
It fell off the.
No, it didn't fall off.
It fell off. Well,
How do you think
from
these things
from
happen?
a public
Yeah.
standpoint, it
And
fell
I don't know
off.
if there's that many vacant buildings and storefronts in town either, so.
Oh, there actually are quite a few. You should take a look as you go down there. And I have no idea what's going on where the pizza place that burned down is. That's been dead for
Oh, we're hoping that they
5
rebuild,
years.
but-
I mean, that's been dead for 5 years.
They've been working on that.
Yeah, I know. I know. But I'm saying.
Plans are done. He's ready to build.
You're going to start seeing some things move. Everything is a process, though. I get it.
Well, and I would like, I understand. Believe me, I work in government. I more than understand everything you say. I deal with it on a daily basis. So there's not, I know what it is that you're talking about. I have to write 32 pages to get a tree pulled out on my project. So I'm very familiar with what you're talking about. But at the same point, I'm only responsible for my project. You guys are responsible for the town. You all theoretically want to make it a better town. I assume that's why you all ran. So, and I'm asking basically, what is it that you're doing, in that direction? Because, it's sad to see businesses leave this town, and it really is. It's sad we have two decent restaurants. I'll give you two decent say, what do we have, 5 restaurants total in this town?
Well, it depends on what you declare, like pizzerias and sit down.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about, place you can go sit with your family. And
For 7.8 square miles, I don't think that's bad. And the one we had no control over.
We have
I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming.
We have Kevin, but-
I'm not blaming you guys. I mean, there were business decisions that landlords and these people and those people made that have nothing to do with the town. But at the same point, I'd like to see some sort of whatever's going to happen on it. Anyway, I'm not here to argue. I'm here to present to you what people in town were talking about, because I thought it was very valid. And, if you're more than welcome to go on and look at it anytime. I know some of you do, some of you don't. Second, and I don't expect an answer, but Ms. Russell, you went on, you made a statement, and then you disappeared about the library. There are people on that site still waiting for your answers on that. So if you could, go in there and answer their questions.
You put out a statement that was false. I wrote that your statement
And
was
those people
false.
asked
That
you,
is all.
and 4 people asked you questions, and
They
you
can
didn't
call
answer
me up
any of
and
them.
have a discussion anytime they want.
Oh, so you're good enough to go onto
I
the site
went on
and say
said
something, but
your
not good enough to
statement-
answer their
Your
questions on them?
statement was false.
No, it wasn't, but that's besides the point. The point is, the point is...
Bob, we missed you, buddy.
the point
Great to
is-
have you back.
The point is, 4 of your constituents asked specific questions to you, and you haven't answered them. That's the point. That's, again, I understand. You're a Republican, you're going to be on the council as long as you have an RF.
What does Republican have to do with it, Bob?
Because she's not in. You guys can't lose an election in this town, so
What exactly does that mean there, Bob?
you can't lose an election in this town. So you're not as responsive as
Anybody can call us
politicians
up and
that
have
can
a
lose
conversation.
elections in the town.
That's all.
Or come here.
Or
that?
come here.
I brought it up. If you wanted to not answer them, obviously that's your choice. But I did bring it up because they do want answers. So but again, that's your choice. I would like, you to answer them, but there's a lot of things I would like in life.
Thank you, Bob. Any other comments? Nope, you're up. I apologize, I don't know your name.
Brocaccio, 8 Industrial Road. How you doing, council?
Good, how are you?
I came under the pretense of hopefully straightening out the towing ordinance, but obviously I am assuming that's not going to happen tonight. Is that correct?
May I?
Sure. Mr. Brewer, take it away.
I had the pleasure of a conversation with your council earlier this evening, and there was a report given, which is consistent with the conversation we had on the telephone, which is that we're continuing to review, the clerk, the attorney, and I are continuing to review them, and legislative action is anticipated for the 24th.
Okay, and that's been going on, though. I mean, the cutoff date for the application approval was the 1st of this year.
Correct.
So now, I'm pretty familiar, I own several towing companies in New Jersey. Right now, you're allowing operators to operate that are illegal and do not meet your qualifications, which is a liability on the borough of Pequannock.
We currently have holdover status, and it's being reviewed by all the parties that need to be reviewed, and we anticipate action on the 20th.
Okay, and there's no time frame on the action. I mean, as you know, I've spent over $1 million on this adventure.
Yes.
I was approved 3 times and then shot down 3 times by the zoning, which is costing me a fortune in attorney fees.
I laud the efforts that you put forth to get the necessary approval from the Board of Adjustment.
Correct. I spent a lot of
And as
money.
we discussed, I respect the frustration that you have, and I apologize for the
No, it's
fact that
not-
it hasn't
no, I
happened sooner.
understand
No,
the process
I will
and
personally apologize, but we expect there to be some resolution on the 24th, and then it will be an ongoing process.
Now, if it doesn't happen, just for say, because I know it was supposed to happen now, if it doesn't happen the 24th now, we're into another month of me losing revenue of over $1 million in invested equipment. And as you were saying earlier, you want small businesses here. In 2018, I took into a 10-year lease over $1.2 million for the lease. They approved me to do what I wanted to do, then all of a sudden disapproved me. Following year, they did the same thing again. Mrs. Hartman did it to me, and then the following year, she did it again, 3 times. It's a lot of money to be invested for a small businessman.
Yes.
Okay.
Come on the 24th, and I think you'll have
Okay.
I
resolution.
anticipate
I'm
it.
hoping, I just see
Everything,
something on the sheets tonight, that's why I
every effort, and I don't mean that
No, I
hyperbolic,
appreciate it.
is being made to get.
As you can understand, I'm a little frustrated.
100%, and there's nothing that anybody can do to take that away from me. I respect that, but every effort is being made to get some action scheduled on this.
Okay, thank you.
And in order to not make a wasted trip, if you want to give Mr. Brewer a call, on Tuesday
No, we've
on the
spoken before.
24th, but to see if it is going to be.
I honor his word, and, hopefully the 24th will be straight. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? There are no minutes for approval. Next on the agenda is closed session. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2023-59, authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session
I'll make that
to
motion.
discuss contract negotiations related to property acquisitions?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? At this time, the public portion of the meeting has recessed for closed session.